Welcome back to Daily Dose of Knowledge. If you're new here, welcome. You're exactly where you need to be. If you're from the internet, you already know what an NPC is. Non-playable character. The background characters in video games who walk the same path every single day. They say the same lines, react the same way to the same triggers, and never, not once, do anything unexpected or original. They don't question anything. They don't grow. They just follow the script they were given until the game ends. Now here's where it gets interesting. People started using this term for real humans, and at first it sounds like a meme or an insult. But when you look at the actual psychology behind it, the science of conformity, automaticity, and conscious thought, something uncomfortable becomes clear. The NPC pattern is real. It has names in psychology. It has measurable traits. And the scariest part is that most people who have it have absolutely no idea. Before you think, well, that's not me. That's exactly what an NPC would think. Stay with me. So what does it actually mean to be an NPC in real life? We're not talking about intelligence or education or income. We're talking about autonomy. How much of what you think, believe, and do is genuinely yours versus programmed into you by your environment, culture, and the media you consume? Psychologists have studied this for decades under different names: conformity, herd mentality, automaticity, external locus of control. Different angles, same phenomenon. And what they consistently find is that between 85 and 95% of human behavior is automatic, habitual, reactive, running on a script. Think about your morning. You woke up, checked your phone probably within the first minute, took the same route. How much of that was a conscious choice? How much just happened because it always happens? This is what psychologists call automaticity. Your brain converts repeated behaviors into automatic routines that run without conscious input to conserve energy. This is not inherently bad. If you had to consciously think about every single action, your brain would be overwhelmed within an hour. The problem isn't automaticity itself. The problem is when it spreads from your habits into your identity and your beliefs. That's when you stop running on efficient autopilot and start being a full NPC, when even your deepest opinions aren't really yours. The first major psychological marker of NPC behavior is external locus of control. Psychologist Julian Rotter introduced this concept in 1954. Locus of control is how much you believe you control your own life versus how much you believe external forces control it. An NPC by definition is controlled externally. It responds, it doesn't initiate. And people with strongly external locus of control live almost identically to that. And because they believe they have no control, they never reach for it, which confirms the belief, a perfect loop. Studies show these people have lower life satisfaction, higher anxiety, less success, and weaker relationships, not because the world is harder for them, because they handed the controller to someone else. The second marker is conformity, and this is where things get socially uncomfortable. Solomon Asch conducted his famous conformity experiments in the 1950s. He asked people to match lines on a card. Simple, obvious. The answer was clear. But when actors in the room confidently gave the wrong answer, real participants went along with it. They gave an answer they knew was wrong because of social pressure. Now scale that from a line on a card to your political opinions, your career choices, your standards in relationships, your definition of success. How much of what you believe is what you actually concluded versus what the people around you repeat loudly enough? This is the NPC dynamic in its most dangerous form. Subtle, invisible conformity that feels like your own opinion because you've held it so long you forgot where it came from. There's a term for this in social psychology: pluralistic ignorance. When a majority privately disagree with the norm but publicly comply because they assume everyone else agrees. Entire societies run on pluralistic ignorance. People following rules nobody believes in anymore. Staying silent on things everyone privately thinks because everyone assumes they're the only one thinking it. The third marker is the most defining one: lack of metacognition, the inability to think about your own thinking. Metacognition means being the observer of your own mind. Catching yourself mid-thought and asking, wait, why do I believe this? Where did this reaction come from? Most people never do this. Not because they can't, but because the modern world is specifically designed to prevent it. Constant stimulation, notification cycles, feeds engineered for reaction, not reflection. And a mind that never updates runs on whatever script it was loaded with at age 12. Here's a simple test. Think of a strong opinion you hold. When did you form it? What evidence did you personally examine? Have you ever genuinely engaged with the strongest argument against it? If you can't answer those questions, that's a script, not a conclusion. And living by unexamined scripts is the core of NPC existence. Now, why does this happen at such massive scale? It's not laziness or stupidity. It's something far more structural. Your brain is a prediction machine. Its primary function is not truth-seeking, it's survival and efficiency. It builds models of the world and runs on those models to conserve energy. Questioning your beliefs and examining your assumptions are metabolically expensive activities. Your brain actively resists them unless you force it not to. This is why critical thinking is a skill and not a default. It goes against the grain of how your brain wants to operate. Add the social dimension. Humans are tribal animals. For most of our evolutionary history, being cast out from the group meant death. Conformity was survival. Your brain has a deeply wired threat response to disagreeing with the group. Social rejection registers in the same neural pathways as physical pain. Brain scans confirm this. So when you feel that pull to just agree, to not rock the boat, that's not weakness of character. That's 200,000 years of evolutionary programming doing exactly what it was designed to do. Social rejection won't kill you, but a life lived on someone else's script might. Now let's talk about media and technology, because this section might change how you use your phone. Social media algorithms are not designed to show you truth. They are designed to maximize engagement. And engagement is maximized by content that triggers emotional reactions, outrage, fear, tribal pride. Your feed is a perfectly engineered echo chamber. It shows you more of what you already react to. It confirms what you already believe. It amplifies your existing identity. If you consume this for hours every day, your opinions, your understanding of others, your emotional baseline, all quietly shaped by an algorithm whose only goal is to keep you scrolling. This is NPC programming at industrial scale. And the most insidious part is that it feels like staying informed. But you're not forming views, you're downloading them. MIT research found that false information spreads 6 times faster on social media than true information. Because false information is more emotionally triggering. And triggering content gets shared. And shared content shapes belief. So what separates people who aren't NPCs? Researchers studying high autonomy individuals find a consistent cluster of traits. The first is need for cognition, a genuine enjoyment of thinking. Not just solving problems when required, but actually enjoying wrestling with complex ideas and sitting with uncertainty. These people find intellectual discomfort interesting rather than threatening. When an idea challenges their worldview, their first reaction is curiosity, not defensiveness. The second is high tolerance for ambiguity. NPC behavior thrives on certainty, clear answers, obvious good guys and bad guys. Reality is messy, and the NPC mind finds that intolerable, so it oversimplifies. Non-NPC thinkers can hold uncertainty. They can say, "I don't know yet," without anxiety. They can acknowledge that two opposing things can both contain truth. This sounds simple, but it is genuinely rare. The third is self-authorship, a concept from psychologist Robert Kegan. The capacity to define your own values and worldview from the inside, rather than having it defined by external sources. Kegan's research suggests only a minority of adults fully develop this. Most remain in what he calls the socialized mind, where your identity is constructed from external validation and group membership. Think about that. Most fully grown adults are running an identity that was assembled for them, not chosen. Assembled by circumstance, culture, and social environment. So how do you actually de-NPC yourself? Let's get concrete. First, audit your opinions. Pick 5 things you believe strongly. Ask when you formed each belief, what evidence you examined, and whether you can genuinely argue the opposing side. If you can only describe the opposing view in a way that makes it sound stupid, you've only ever consumed your side. That's a script, not a conclusion. Second, deliberately seek friction. Read the book that disagrees with you. Follow the thinker whose worldview challenges yours. Not to be convinced, but to understand. Your brain will resist this. The discomfort you feel is your autopilot being interrupted. That's a good sign. Lean into it. Third, practice the pause. Before reacting to something that triggers you, a news story, someone's opinion, pause. Ask what you actually think when you remove the emotional charge. Fourth, reduce algorithmic input. Deliberately choose what you consume rather than letting the feed choose for you. Give your brain something to work with rather than just react to. Fifth, develop epistemic humility. The honest acknowledgement that you might be wrong, that your current understanding is incomplete. Certainty in a complex world is usually a red flag, not a virtue. The most dangerous NPCs are the confident ones. Certainty without examination is just a well-rehearsed script delivered with conviction. Real intelligence sounds like, I think based on what I currently understand, but I could be missing something. That's not weakness. That's intellectual honesty. And it's genuinely rare. Now here's the most important question, and I want you to actually sit with this. Look at your life right now. Your career. Did you choose it or fall into what made sense given your background? Your opinions. When did you last genuinely update one based on new evidence? Your dreams. Are they yours? Or are they the dreams people in your position are supposed to have? Did you author those or were they in the script when you arrived? You can't edit a script you don't know you're reading. Awareness is the exit door from NPC existence. Viktor Frankl said that between stimulus and response there is a space, and in that space lies our freedom. That space is what separates a conscious human being from an NPC. The goal isn't to become a contrarian. Disagreeing with everything just to feel different is its own NPC behavior, just running the rebel script instead of the conformist one. The goal is genuine authorship. Forming your own views, choosing your own values, building your own life through conscious decision rather than inherited default. Some of what you examine you'll keep. Some inherited beliefs will survive scrutiny and become genuinely yours for the first time. The point isn't to throw everything out. The point is to actually choose. That's the difference between a life that was lived and a life that was just run. Between a person and a character. Between a player and an NPC. That's your daily dose of knowledge for today. If this made you uncomfortable, good. That means you are actually thinking. Drop a comment below and tell me honestly. Did you recognize yourself anywhere in this? Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more videos that actually make you think. I'll see you in the next one.